Ladies and gentlemen, somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that being good was the highest achievement. Be polite, be agreeable, don't rock the boat, say yes, stay quiet, wait your turn, follow the rules. And if you do all that long enough, success will eventually find you. But here's the truth. No one told us being good will keep you safe. Being intelligent will move you forward, because the world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards clear thinking, brave choices, and disciplined action. You can be a good person and still be broke. You can be kind and still be ignored. You can be respectful and still be stuck. And many people are. They're doing everything right, yet nothing is changing. Good intentions are beautiful. They come from a good place, a kind heart, a genuine desire to help, to care, to do the right thing. But good intentions alone don't build a life. They don't pay bills. They don't fix broken dreams. They don't protect you from being taken advantage of. They just sit there quietly waiting for action that never comes. So many people wake up every day with good intentions. I'll start tomorrow. I'll try harder next week. I'll change when things slow down. I just need a little more time. And time keeps moving. Days turn into months. Months turn into years. And suddenly, life feels heavier than it should, not because you didn't care, not because you didn't try, but because you didn't have a plan. Good intentions without strategy turn into exhaustion. You wake up tired before the day even starts. You feel busy but not productive. You feel responsible for everything and everyone, and somehow you still feel behind. You give your energy to everyone else, your job, your family, your friends, your obligation. And at the end of the day, there's nothing left for you. You tell yourself you're doing your best, and maybe you are, but your best without direction is just effort on repeat. You run faster, you stay up later, you push harder, yet the destination never changes. That's how burnout is born, not from laziness, from trying too hard in the wrong direction. You want to succeed, you want to grow, you want more from life, but wanting is not the same as building. Dreams need structure. Goals need systems. Effort needs focus. Without strategy, you keep climbing the wrong mountain. You work so hard. You sacrifice so much. You carry so much weight and still feel like you're not enough. That hurts. It hurts to give everything and feel unseen. It hurts to care deeply and get nothing back. It hurts to try and still feel stuck. That pain is real. And most people don't talk about it. They just keep going, smiling, pretending, telling themselves it's fine. But deep down, they know. They know they're tired of surviving. They know they're tired of struggling. They know they're tired of waiting for a breakthrough that never comes. Good intentions tell you to keep pushing. Intelligence tells you to step back and think, to ask hard questions, to look at what's actually working, to admit when something isn't, to change direction instead of just working harder. Because effort without strategy is like pouring water into a broken cup. No matter how much you give, it never fills. You don't need more motivation. You don't need more willpower. You need clarity. You need a plan. You need a system. You need a path. Something that turns your energy into progress. Something that turns your sacrifice into results. Something that turns your dreams into steps. Being tired doesn't mean you're weak. It means you've been carrying too much for too long. Being stuck doesn't mean you're failing. It means you've been moving without direction. You deserve more than just surviving. You deserve a life that feels steady. A future that feels possible, a path that feels real. And that starts when you stop relying on good intention and start building intelligent moves, moves that protect your time, moves that multiply your effort, moves that move you forward instead of in circles, because you are too capable to stay exhausted, too talented to stay stuck, too powerful to keep running in place. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be intentional. You just need to be strategic. You just need to choose progress over pressure and stop confusing effort with direction, because the right plan with focused energy will always beat blind hard work every single time. Courage doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's shaking hands and a racing heart. Sometimes it's walking into a room where you don't feel ready. Sometimes it's saying something that could change everything. Real courage is not about being fearless. It's about moving forward while fear is screaming at you to stop. So many people think intelligence is about knowing the right answers. It's not. It's about knowing what needs to be done and finding the strength to do it. Because awareness without action is just observation. And observation doesn't change your life. You can see what's wrong. You can feel what's missing. You can sense that something needs to shift. But if you don't move, nothing moves. Intelligence lives in decision making. In the moment you choose growth over comfort. In the moment you choose truth over approval. In the moment you choose action over excuses. Those moments don't feel heroic. They feel terrifying. Your mind starts listing everything that could go wrong. You imagine the failure, the embarrassment, the rejection. You imagine people judging you, laughing at you, doubting you. And part of you wants to stay quiet, to stay small, to stay safe. Because safe feels familiar. Even when familiar is painful, you get used to what hurts you. You get used to being overlooked, to being underestimated, to being stuck. You start calling it normal. But something inside you knows better. Something inside you knows you were made for more. That voice gets louder every time you settle. Every time you ignore your potential, every time you choose comfort over growth, courage is listening to that voice. Even when it shakes, even when it doubts, even when it's unsure. Courage is sending the message you've been rewriting for days, making the call you've been avoiding. Applying for the opportunity you think you're not ready for. Courage is walking away from what's familiar and you know it's holding you back. Courage is betting on yourself when no one else is watching. It's standing in front of your fear and saying, you don't get to decide my future. Most people wait for confidence. They think one day they'll wake up ready. Ready is a myth. Confidence is built in motion. You don't feel brave and then act brave. You act brave and then you become brave. Every bold step rewires you. Every risk reshapes you. Every challenge strengthens you. You don't grow by staying where you are. You grow by stepping into what scares you. And intelligence is recognizing that fear is not a stop sign. It's a direction. Fear points to the edge of your comfort zone, to the doorway of your next level, to the life you've been too afraid to claim. If you always wait until you're ready, you'll wait forever. If you always need permission, you'll never move. If you always need approval, you'll stay trapped. At some point, you have to decide that your future matters more than your fear, that your dreams matter more than your doubts, that your growth matters more than your comfort. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the refusal to let fear win. It's choosing to rise even when your voice trembles. It's choosing to stand even when your knees shake. It's choosing to move even when your heart is pounding. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing to try, willing to fail, willing to learn, willing to rise again. Because every strong person you admire was once afraid. Every leader you respect once doubted themselves. Every success story began with choice to step forward anyway. They weren't special, they were brave. And bravery is a decision you can make too. Right here, right now, not tomorrow, not someday, in this moment. Because the life you want is waiting on the other side of your fear. And fear only has power if you let it. Being liked feels good. It feels safe. It feels warm. It feels like belonging. It feels like you matter. But being liked is fragile. It disappears the moment you disagree. It fades the moment you set a boundary. It vanishes the moment you stop saying yes. Being liked is built on pleasing. And pleasing comes with a price. You learn to hold your tongue. You learn to shrink your opinions. You learn to laugh at jokes that hurt you. You learn to accept behavior that disrespects you. All for the comfort of being accepted. And slowly, quietly, you disappear. You stop saying what you really think. You stop doing what you really want. You start living a version of life that fits other people's expectations. You become the person everyone likes, except yourself. That's the cost. Respect is different. Respect is not loud applause. It's quiet recognition. It's being taken seriously. It's being valued for who you are, not how convenient you are. Respect doesn't come from pleasing. It comes from standing firm, from knowing your worth, from honoring your limits, from speaking your truth, even when your voice shakes. Respect is built when you stop accepting less than you deserve. When you stop tolerating behavior that drains you, when you stop allowing people to cross lines just because you're afraid of being alone, that takes strength. Because being liked is easy. You just agree. You just comply. You just stay silent. But being respected means you risk conflict. You risk disappointment. You risk being misunderstood. You risk being called difficult, too much, too intense. And that hurts. It hurts to realize that some people only liked you when you were useful. It hurts to see how quickly affection turns cold when you stop overgiving. It hurts to watch relationships fade when you start standing up for yourself. But that pain is honest. It's the pain of growth. It's the pain of choosing yourself. Because real respect doesn't require you to lose yourself. It doesn't ask you to shrink. It doesn't demand your silence. Real respect makes space for your voice. It honors your boundaries. It recognizes your value. Being liked is temporary. Respect is lasting. People may smile at someone they like, but they listen to someone they respect. They trust someone they respect. They follow someone they respect. And most importantly, they don't cross someone they respect. You teach people how to treat you. Every time you say yes when you want to say no. Every time you laugh off disrespect. Every time you accept less than you deserve. You're teaching them that your boundaries don't matter. You're teaching them that your time is optional. You're teaching them that your feelings are negotiable. And once that pattern is set, it's hard to break, but it can be broken the moment you decide that your self-respect is more important than their approval. The moment you choose dignity over comfort. The moment you stop begging to be chosen. You don't need to be liked by everyone. You were never meant to be. You need to be respected by yourself. Because when you respect yourself, you walk differently. You speak differently. You choose differently. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop proving yourself to people who never cared. You stop settling for spaces where you are barely tolerated. You start building a life where you are honored. And yes, some people will leave. Some will talk. Some will judge. But the right ones will stay. The right ones will step up. The right ones will meet you at your level. Being respected may cost you popularity, but it will give you peace. And peace is priceless. Because at the end of the day, you don't need a crowd. You need a backbone. You need standards. You need the courage to stand alone if you have to. Because being liked won't protect your future. But being respected will. Motivation feels good. It feels like fire in your chest. Like anything is possible. Like this time will be different. You wake up inspired. You promise yourself today is the day. You write the plan. You set the goal. You feel unstoppable. And then life happens. You get tired. You get distracted. You get overwhelmed. You get discouraged. The fire fades. And suddenly the thing you were so excited about feels heavy. That's the problem with motivation. It comes and goes. It depends on your mood, your energy, your environment, your emotions. And emotions are unreliable. Some days you feel powerful. Some days you feel defeated. Some days you feel ready to conquer the world. Some days you can barely get out of bed. If your progress depends on how you feel, your life will move in circles. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It shows up when motivation disappears. It carries you when your energy is gone. It keeps you moving when your mind is tired. Discipline is choosing to do what needs to be done, even when you don't want to, especially when you don't want to. It's waking up when your body begs for more sleep. It's working when your mind says rest. It's training when quitting feels easier. It's doing the hard thing first. Every day. Discipline is quiet. No applause. No cheering. No celebration. Just you. Your promise and the work. It doesn't feel exciting. It feels repetitive. It feels boring. It feels lonely. But it works. It builds momentum. It builds confidence. It builds identity. You stop asking, can I do this? You start knowing, I do this. And that changes everything. Motivation says, I'll try. Discipline says, I will. Motivation waits for the right moment. Discipline creates it. Motivation looks for shortcuts. Discipline commits to the process. Motivation is loud at the start. Discipline is silent in the middle. And the middle is where most people quit. That's where doubt creeps in. That's where boredom shows up. That's where results feel too far away. You start wondering if it's worth it, if you're wasting your time, if you should give up. Discipline keeps going, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Every strong person you admire is disciplined. They don't rely on feelings. They rely on habits. They don't wait for inspiration. They work through resistance. They don't negotiate with excuses. They honor their commitments, especially the ones they made to themselves. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's telling yourself that your goals matter, that your future matters, that your word matters. It's refusing to let temporary discomfort steal long-term success. It's choosing growth over ease. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, you build trust with yourself. And that trust becomes confidence. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind that doesn't need validation. The kind that doesn't need permission. The kind that doesn't break under pressure. Motivation might get you started, but discipline will take you all the way. When motivation fades, discipline remains. When excitement dies, discipline survives. When fear whispers, discipline moves, and over time, the work compounds. Small actions stack. Tiny habits grow. Daily effort transforms. And one day, you look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. You're stronger, you're sharper, you're more focused. Not because you waited to feel ready, but because you showed up anyway, again and again, even on the days you didn't want to, especially on those days. Growth is uncomfortable. It stretches you, it challenges you, it pulls you out of everything that feels familiar, and familiar feels safe, even when it's holding you back, even when it's draining you, even when it's breaking your spirit. You get used to what hurts you. You get used to being unhappy, to being overlooked, to being underpaid, to being underestimated. You start calling survival normal. But deep down, you know you were meant for more. That quiet voice inside you never goes away. It whispers when you're alone. It speaks when the room is silent. It reminds you of the life you're not living, and that voice is hard to ignore. Growth asks you to listen. It asks you to question your routines, your relationships, your choices. It asks you to let go of what no longer serves you. That's not easy. Letting go feels like loss. Even when what you're holding on to is hurting you, you cling to people who no longer see you. You stay in places that no longer value you. You carry habits that no longer help you. Because walking away feels like failure. Because starting over feels terrifying. Because change feels like jumping without a net. But staying stuck costs more. It costs your peace, your confidence, your dreams. Every day you stay where you've outgrown, you shrink a little, you dim your light. You silence your ambition, you settle for less, and that hurts more than leaving ever could. Growth requires uncomfortable decisions, decisions that make your heart race, that keep you up at night, that make you question yourself, decisions that feel lonely, because not everyone will understand. Some will doubt you, some will discourage you, some will try to pull you back into the version of you they're comfortable with. They'll call you unrealistic, too ambitious, too sensitive. Too much, but they're not living your life. They don't feel your regrets. They don't carry your dreams. They don't wake up with your fears. You do, and you owe it to yourself to honor that. Growth means choosing the harder path, the path that demands discipline, that requires sacrifice, that asks you to be patient. It means giving up short-term comfort for long-term fulfillment. It means saying no to distractions, no to excuses, no to settling. It means saying yes to effort, yes to learning, yes to becoming. Growth is not glamorous. It's early mornings and late nights. It's doubt and setbacks. It's failure and frustration. It's starting again when quitting would be easier. It's believing in yourself when no one else does. It's standing alone in your vision. That takes courage, real courage, the kind that doesn't get applause, the kind that happens behind closed doors, the kind that builds character. And every time you choose growth over comfort, you change, not overnight, not instantly, but slowly, steadily. You become stronger, wiser, more confident. You stop running from challenges. You start rising to meet them. You stop fearing change. You start creating it. You stop waiting for life to happen. You start making it happen. And one day you look back at the person you used to be, the one who was afraid, the one who doubted, the one who stayed when they should have left. And you're grateful you chose differently because comfort kept you small, but growth set you free. Most people spend their lives searching for their purpose, searching for their calling, searching for that one moment that will suddenly make everything clear. They wait for a sign, a breakthrough, a spark of certainty. They think purpose is something you find like it's hidden somewhere, like it's waiting for you to stumble across it one day. But purpose doesn't work that way. Purpose isn't discovered. It's built. It's shaped by the choices you make, the risks you take, the work you commit to. It's created in the moments when no one is watching. People say, I just don't know what I'm meant to do. What they really mean is they're afraid to start. Because starting means failing, starting means being wrong, starting means being seen. So they wait. They wait for clarity. They wait for confidence. They wait for the perfect plan, and life keeps moving. Days pass. Opportunities fade. Dreams get quieter. Not because they weren't real, but because they weren't acted on. Purpose is built through action, through trying, through experimenting, through learning what works and what doesn't. You don't wake up one day knowing exactly who you are. You become who you are by showing up, by doing the work, by making mistakes, by growing through discomfort. Every step teaches you something, what excites you, what drains you, what challenges you, what fulfills you, but you only learn by moving. Standing still teaches nothing. Waiting teaches nothing. Avoiding teaches nothing. Life rewards momentum. Purpose grows in motion. It grows when you take responsibility for your life, when you stop blaming your past, when you stop resenting your circumstances, when you stop wishing things were easier and start asking what you can build from here. Your purpose is not in your comfort zone. It's in the work that scares you, in the goals that stretch you, in the vision that keeps you awake at night. It's in the effort you're willing to give when no one is forcing you. It's in the discipline you show when motivation disappears. It's in the courage to keep going when progress feels slow. Purpose is forged in consistency. In the small choices you make every day, the choice to learn instead of scroll, to train instead of rest, to build instead of complain, the choice to invest in yourself, to bet on yourself, to believe in yourself when doubt is loud. Your purpose is shaped by what you commit to, what you protect, what you prioritize, what you refuse to quit. It's not about finding the perfect path. It's about walking one path with intention and growing into the person who deserves the life you want. People think purpose should feel magical, like fireworks, like destiny. Like everything suddenly makes sense, but most of the time it feels like work. It feels like responsibility. It feels like pressure. It feels like sacrifice. It feels like choosing discipline over distraction. It feels like choosing patience over panic. It feels like choosing effort over excuses. Purpose isn't glamorous. It's earned. It's built on early mornings, on late nights, on uncomfortable growth. It's built on setbacks that teach you, on failures that shape you, on challenges that strengthen you. You don't need to find your purpose. You need to start building it. With the skills you have, with the time you have, with the resources you have right where you are. Because clarity comes from action, confidence comes from experience, and purpose comes from commitment. You are not lost. You are just waiting to begin, and the moment you start building, your direction will reveal itself. Step by step, choice by choice, day by day, until one day you look at your life and realize you didn't find your purpose, you created it.